Shrija, we also have PKD Nambiar, a political commentator, as well as someone who supports the BJP, joining us. And PKD Nambiar, now with the High Court ruling that, upholding the hijab ban and saying that it's not an essential religious practice, which many said was a flawed argument to have made in the first place. But the fact remains, this entire issue was just blown out of proportion. It's something that needs a soft touch. There are, cultural issues here, and it could have been handled better by authorities instead of becoming so confrontational.
Gargi, it's another way around. So if you really recall, the last couple of months, we have been discussing and debating on your own very channel. I have debated with the girls who are the petitioners. We were all requesting that my dear kids, don't get into this kind of a narrative by the Popular Front of India and some of these extremist people who have been doing it. The Karnataka, Kerala and South of India have got a culture of all communities living together peacefully, and this has never been a practice for age old. And our schools have been one of the most secular places wherein we never discriminated our kids by a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu, or for that matter to a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or some other caste and creed. School is not the place where you will be showcasing or wearing your religion on sleeves. But unfortunately, definitely there are...
Nambiar, the point is that, some of these girls, as I said, it's a cultural issue. We know in some parts of our country, the girls wear hijab, in their community, they're not allowed out of their homes without a hijab. Similarly, the ghungat is very popular in some parts of the country, in Rajasthan as well, and girls are not allowed without, covering their heads. So, that's what I meant when I said that it needed to be treated in such a manner. It was only limited to one college, but then suddenly you had this situation in which several colleges were told that, that say no hijab and no, that girls will not be allowed, students will not be allowed. You've had this situation in which even teachers have had to take off any burqa or hijab that they're wearing. Teachers have quit over this issue. So what I was pointing out, that it unnecessarily became a huge issue, and now with the High Court, verdict coming in, it's something that can be dealt with by authorities in a softer way, in a way to ensure, because end of the day we all want these girls to get educated.
So I think all these, I think I agree with you completely that every kids and every children needs to be given education. That is their fundamental right, and they also need to be sympathetically looked at it. But if you have seen all those girls with whom at least I have debated in multiple channels, they were very cutter. They said, no, we are not keen on education. More than education, first hijab, then education. Have you seen some of the posters by these girls in the Udupi or in some part of the Karnataka, where they have clearly, in fact, there was even cases in Kerala wherein the Muslim Education Society, they themselves have come out and said that hijab is not allowed in the schools. But despite that, it was a Campus Friend of India and some of these extremist people have motivated these kids to go to this extreme level. But I think, Gargi, you must understand and upload that today the Karnataka High Court, it's a historic day, Karnataka High Court's decision that it is not, and all these while, all these Muslim fundamentalists and some of these people were talking about the hijab is a essential religious practice, but today it has been ruled out. And it is also clearly said that
I think there were enough people, enough Muslims, in fact, academics who had argued that no, it's nowhere in the Quran or anything. Yes, it's more of a cultural practice that has come up. So yes, this whole debate, unnecessarily, having said that, it was one of the issues that was raised in the court, and that is why the High Court has now, has delivered this verdict saying it is not an essential practice. But the problem here, PKD Nambiar, is that, in the face of all of this entire controversy, it's all of us who are the losers, because look at the kind of images that came out during that time. As I said, it's something authorities could deal with in a much better way, in a much more mature way, without making it so confrontational. Even if the girls were being confrontational, there were ways to reach out to them perhaps, and now we believe that the issue will be taken to the Supreme Court. So again, I think we're going to be talking about this for several days.
I agree with you completely. I think both the sides, whether it is from the girl side or the authority side, they should have been a bit more cautious even in the initial stage. Maybe this could have been handled slightly better at the hyper-local level. That's the way I would say that, that's the school level or the places where it is started. But you need to understand, Gargi, it was not just about that one school. It was basically a narrative the Popular Front of India and the Campus Front of India was trying to build up on this Malabar coast. It is not just limited to the Udupi or the Mangalore region. It is even if from the entire Malabar coast, there has been an extremist activity taking place over the last three decades. The maximum number of people who have joined in ISIS, you may say that when I say this, though you are going to another side, but that is the truth. Almost 80% of the people who have joined from India, the ISIS, that is about 86 people or so, is from this particular part of India. And secondly, you also need to understand, this is also a very progressive Muslim society. This part where we are talking about the issues they are very progressive Muslim society. They are highly educated. They are very well off economically as compared to the people where the North Indian people. I believe that we all have, India is a cultural kaleidoscope. So we have multiple cultures, multiple religious practices. Even within the Hindu community, different castes and different places, there are different religious practices. But what all I am saying, I am not against hijab, I am not against burqa, but school is not the place. It is the place where you get a character formation. It is the place, it's a temple of education, the Vidya Devi, or the place where you start nurturing you as an individual.
But you also had a situation in which, Kendriya Vidyalayas do allow girls to wear hijab as a part of the uniform. It's there, it's in the same colors of the uniform, and those who choose to wear it, it's not that all Muslim girls have to wear it if they don't want to, but girls who choose to wear it. So, that is the kind of approach that authorities can now take. Yes, the High Court has ruled that it's not an essential religious practice, but for the moment we'll have to wait and see, what happens on that front. But a big setback to the girls who had petitioned the High Court, and also we believe that they're going to be approaching the Supreme Court as well, and we'll get more reaction to this. I'll have to leave it there. PKD Nambiar, thank you so much for joining us. But let's